OG, because we've seen many teams that they played against MVP that chose to not want to face that hero.
So you feel pretty confident? Do you guys agree that Huskar is just going to be that continuing, lingering problem hanging there that in that second phase you might always have to keep tabs on?
I think it's definitely something you always have to keep in mind, because as the draft goes on, you know, we've seen more heroes picked at this TI than I think any other TI in history. So when you get to that stage where heroes are constantly rotating in and out, their point comes where you can just see, okay, it's second phase now. That's when you start seeing the Huskar. That's when you start seeing heroes that are really going to become a problem.
Well, gentlemen, as it looks like, the draft is actually going to be happening up here behind us right now. We'll get it set up so we can check it out right in front of us, I'm sure, soon enough. But it looks like to open up this match, MVP has snagged up the Faceless Void while OG grabbed that Batrider we were talking of.
Batrider's just a really solid opening overall. It gives you pick potential more than anything. He has good lane matchups against a lot of heroes that are in the pool right now. Just very flexible. Leaves you kind of wide open for whatever it is you want to do.
And so for both teams just kind of leading in out this draft, saying these are going to be the ones to initiate, to set the party started. I mean, we don't know for the Faceless Void for certain if it's going to be an offlane or not, but do you think that sets any sort of tone between these two teams, that they're looking, hey, we're going to get the initiator, we want to get the one party right away?
I mean, you want to have a flexible hero, don't you?
Yeah, usually they put it as carry and pick another offlaner for Forev, because Forev doesn't really like to play Faceless Void, whereas the pick for OG, the Batrider, is one of Moon's staple heroes, and he's super confident on him. He introduced like a new build in the competitive scene where you don't go lasso and just go drums and go all out.
Wow,
aggressive.
so check this out. So they've been incorporating some awesome new technology and sciences, if you will. AR hitting the floor. We can see the current picks as they happen on the stage. How awesome is that? We got Earth Spirit coming out now and Dark Seer, so that becomes a bit more clear-cut as far as where this Faceless Void is going to end up indeed.
Yeah, I like the opening a lot too, because, you know, Black and I were talking this morning about the weaknesses of Void and the ability to lane deep push and things like that and farming capabilities. Just having the Ion Shell as something to partner with it a little bit later on, it's very nice to make sure that, you know, you have some kind of wave clear during the game, whereas OG, now they're looking at the heroes right now and saying, this is crit comfort pick, this is moon comfort pick.
Yeah, like one of the games where they ran in the group stage where they had 5 melee heroes and they had a Dark Seer, you buy a mech and you Iron Shell everyone and you run at the enemy team. They had the SB as well. So basically their lineup was very, very early game centric. They had a mech early and they just had Iron Shell and they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting.
Like the biggest problem Faceless Void has early on, like level 6, he doesn't really want to TP through lane because it doesn't offer damage, but in this case you can just TP through the offlane, for example, and solo kill the carry because the Iron Shell gives you the damage that you're really missing.
Wait, let me ask you, if you're the safe lane Void this game, would you go for a Vanguard build or would you go back for like the Manta Diffuser build, like a early Blast Manta Diffuser?
Like we'll have to see what OG picks, whether they need the damage of Void, but if you build the Vanguard Void, especially with Dark Seer, it's like really, really strong because you can just run at them, jump at them, and they can't really deal with you, and you can just run them down.
What do you think, though, that OG continue to go back for this Earth Spirit? We've been having debates throughout the group stage as far as where he really resides in this meta, if he does, and he is able to make that big team fight impact that he used to, but we know Crit's also one of the best, if not the best in the game at it. Do you think it's safe for them to continue to go for it?
I think they always want to put Crit on a hero that has some kind of impact in rotations. You know, you don't want to put him on a hero that's sitting in the woods and farming and stuff like that, so giving him something like this to be able to pressure lanes, it's probably one of the strongest openings that OG can possibly feel.
Yeah, against MVP is very important because they are so aggressive in the early game, and DuBu is always roaming on like a Ricky, Bounty Hunter, like whatever hero that he'll be doing that in the early game. You need a hero that can defend your lanes, can roam around, make sure that your lanes don't get crippled by the rotations of MVP.
Yeah, we have seen in the group stage already that teams that tend to play defensively, they just can't dictate the game and they have big problems just controlling the game in general, and those teams, they didn't fare so well in this tournament. And Earth Spirit is one of the heroes that can really start to dominate lanes. He can rotate to offlane, he can rotate to mid, and we always see Crit doing like really great rotations, really great saves on their cores, and one of the favorite heroes for sure.
I mean, it's not only that, it's like the team fight composition. Like you provide your team with Stun of Silence and AoE damage in early team fights. You don't need any items. You just need level, so it helps a lot with that.
So in the second phase now, OG obviously getting rid of the Alchemist and the Slark MVP. They had gotten rid of the Oracle and then followed up with removing the DP. Just a small, footprint about Oracle. This was a guy who didn't even exist last year at TI, and now he's one of the most picked supports in the game right now. Is that just something as well that teams are going to be hungry for throughout this event?
It's because of how MVP are running their lineup. Like I said, they're going to run at you with 5 heroes with Iron Shell. You don't want the Oracle to be there to take away the Iron Shell. That's your primary source of damage.
Yeah.
So that's very, very important for them. And OG, they choose to take out the Slug, which is very good against the Batrider, and which is also very good with against the Juggernaut that they go for in the second phase. Alchemist is just a very difficult hero to deal with. It allows you to fight, scale, you farm so quickly, difficult to deal with throughout the game.
Especially considering the opening that MVP have, right? They have so many heroes that can already create space, like Dark Seer and Spirit Breaker combination is going to apply a tremendous amount of pressure during the early mid game. So
I feel the Juggernaut pick is really smart against that. Because they're going for back to PA, one of PO's favorite heroes. They didn't have a lot of success with it, but it's definitely one of the heroes he loves playing the most.
Yeah, the same heroes, like roughly the same heroes when they had the 5 melee matchup. Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, and the QO PA. They just run at you, they're not gonna let you breathe.
they just chase you non-stop, and having 2 Ion Shells, like 1 for charge, 1 for Blink Strike, just being able to infinitely chase down heroes, yeah, just this is classic MVP. They just love to play.
Yeah, but they have pretty good heroes to deal with the charge. So they have the Flame Break, they have the kick from the Earth Spirit, they have the Shadow Demon, and Juggernaut is much better adept at dealing with the charge from the Spirit Breaker in the early game.
But just going back to the Spirit Breaker pick, it was a response to the Juggernaut pick, because one of the big problems with Juggernaut is if you face him and you can't cancel the spin TP, he poses a much bigger threat than what
That's true. Like some teams will go for the Bane, but because it's MVP, they want a hero that can use the Iron Shell.
Yep.
They went for the SB, and this is a classic MVP lineup. With those 4 fighting lineups, you're not going to farm, so where you're going to get your gold? Track kills. So Bounty just rounds their lineup well.
They have no lane support at all. Like the safe lane will be pretty vulnerable.
Do they need lane support? They're just going to run at you.
Yeah, they will run at you, but if OG can weather the storm, then the safe lane is going to have huge problems. But that's also why they pick Faceless Void, because Faceless Void can definitely sustain himself on the safe lane.
Do you think that's how it's going to be, Andy, for MVP? Are they going all in with this early aggression? And
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, their heroes aren't necessarily good at breaching high ground, so like Winter said, they are very reliant on track hold and winning the lanes.
OG round their lineup with the Timbersaw, gentlemen. The panel seems to think OG are going to walk away with maybe a good initiative. Do you agree?
I think MVP are feeling pretty comfortable. I'm actually going to go against the grain here and say MVP for game 1.
Black?
I think MVP can definitely beat OG, but OG just have this little bit of an edge of an experience.
Now I'm going to go with Andy and MVP.
MVP. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to tune into our casters for our very first TI6 matchup. We have Toby Wan and Merlini. Gentlemen, can you hear me loud and clear?
We definitely can, Dakota. We are so ready to go. OG up against MVP. What a terrific series to also kick off the International 2016.
I'm glad that MVP is going back to the basics. They have their 5 melee brawlers. They were 4-0 with PA in the group stage. Let's continue that streak.
Yeah, want to see it. MVP, we've seen them on the main stage before. Sometimes they turn away from the team fights. This time they've embraced the spirit that is MVP. And they'll do it up against OG. OG panel was saying it, both the fun and the draft panel, they were all looking to say OG, they're the favorites coming into this series, but MVP, draft panel kind of lent towards them. They're stuck with the brawlers. Have they got enough to bring down OG at least 1, maybe 2 games in this best of 3?
I think with this draft, yes. In the group stage, they picked a lot of non-QO heroes. I think he's kind of like the embodiment of aggression with the heroes that he plays, Slark, PA, PL, just heroes that can be in your face all the time. And then they picked him some Timbersaw here and there, which didn't quite seem up his alley. They picked him a Tinker, which they lost. And we saw the Alchemist man out from OG, which he also played a couple of times during the group stage. But I think the PA is really his hero.
Yeah, it's just that kind of burst and also momentum shifting hero that MVP can bring into the fights. What do you actually think about the overall draft? There's very few teams that come out and run a full 5 melee lineup.
Yeah, it's very risky, especially when you have all this AoE from the Earth Spirit and the Batrider. Like, Napalm's going to be a huge issue, not to mention the last pick, Timbersaw. I think this is kind of an ideal Timbersaw game. Maybe not as many strength.
The contest for the top rune, the Iron Shell's already up. MVP's going to go in. DuBu, heavy damage early on, but the double Iron Shell putting down Fly. The first one drop is going to be SP, a 1-for-1 trade-off. But really, MVP, have you bitten off more than you can chew? Febby has to make a run for this. As the bounty hunter, he can't go in for it for another 5 seconds. But he'll bail out. The runes still end up going the way. In fact, both bounty runes went the way of MVP into the hands of Faceless Void as well as the PA. Febby, Orb of Venom just harassing Crypt back out again. He's going to control up this jungle nicely.
They're very reliant on the Ion Shell this game, and OG drafted potentially 2 ways to get rid of the Ion Shell with the Demonic Purge and a Diffusal Blade Carrier in the Juggernaut. And you can tell OG, they're prepared. All these early game clarities, they're grouping up around the runes, just expecting this level of fighting. We already see a charge on bottom from DuBu. See if he gets as lucky with the bashes.
Yeah, it seems to be more of a zone out kind of thing. Moon is going to have a real good time up against MP. As we said, melee versus sticky napalm is always going to favor the Batrider, which should be checking middle lane as a sentry ward down for crit. They're going to see Febby boulder forward. QO will take it for the bounty hunter, and they're both going to move back out again. This time around, they don't have that iron shell damage they had around the top rune fight. They have to give space to OG.
These two heroes are still level 1. They're still trying to kill people. Gonna be a problem once reactive armor gets up on Miracle too. Let's see if he picks up level 2 at level 3, but if that happens, I'm not exactly sure where Febby's gonna go.
You made this a survive lane? Well, Febby will get rid of the sentry ward, so he's freer to move in the mid lane. No extra sentry over on crit. In fact, it's Fly who's holding on for the other 2 sentries at the moment. But they still have to keep tabs on where this bounty hunter is moving, and the bounty, one of those rare times as well where he doesn't have a jungle he can just leech experience off. Not until they can make Moon abandon the bottom lane and start stacking up inside the jungle for him.
I don't know if he's going to leave. I don't think he needs to. As the draft panel mentioned, like, they don't have a good zoning support at all. Spirit Breaker's okay, but he has no easy way to get rid of the sticky napalm.
Top rune, Iron Shell's gonna prep up. It's gonna be a bounty rune only, no big damage rune, but crit didn't actually boulder out. The SB's on his way in. It's a long charge back underneath the tier 1 tower, but it's already done. The Darkseer finds the extra kill, and DuBu will run away, so 2-2 on the board.
And OG have invested some minion sentries, but maybe not enough. MVP are winning the ward battle in the mid lane at the moment, and DuBu's there for the charge just in case.
KT can help out, make sure those kills get secured, also keeps the vision up. He's going to charge back down to bottom lane, so MP doesn't really have a lot to play around with. Like, he has a stick charge, no points up in time lock. Instead, it's time dilation he's trying to play up against Moon with. So Moon will turn for the sticky napalm. MP with the extra badge is still not going to be enough to kill off Moon. Yeah. Very safe down there with his boots. High movement speed to get away.
I'm surprised they didn't go for the double bash lane. Double that thing up. MP.
That's just more survival top lane. Nice searching from Fly. Catching the Darkseer. Mid-surge Forev. He will be dropping now. Try to do enough damage to Fly to get a kill. The double iron shells were there, and Febby looking to soak up a little bit more with the extra attack on a Fly. He can't kill him. He can only harass him. But that's the last consumable down for the SD.
And they are very light on detection in this top lane. Shadow Demon, one of the better supports to deal with that Darkseer. Forev might have a troublesome time if he's not in the jungle.
Because he had to give the extra sentry wards over to Crit. Crit brought another one of those sentries to the mid lane and held on to the other one.
And they need to make sure that QO isn't out of control. He's the main person that you always want to shut down on MVP.
My eyes up on this top lane. The iron shells are always up, so No-Tail's got to be careful. Setting when the bounty hunter will move, but it's the 4-minute mark, so again the contest for the top room will begin. Febby will try and steal the one from Miracle, keep that bottle empty if possible, but Crit makes a bit more of a cover. They reveal him with a dart, and Febby's going to drop. A little bit too predictable, the battle for the rune. Timber actually got a regen as well.
They knew exactly where he was going to be.
And what you really get in return, you fill up QO's bottle, it gets a bounty rune.
Okay, you just need like one of these movements by the bounty hunter to pay off in the later game. When you get some track kills, Crit smoked around behind him in the mid tower.
Yeah, they're preparing Observer Ward behind the tier 1 so they can see QO and understand how many reinforcements he's got. Miracle also feels like with this aggressive maneuver, just preparing QO for the Earth Spirit roll-in.
This is a maneuver that OG does a lot. They smoke with Crit to lay aggressive wards. If there's an Alchemist, it will normally be towards the southern side, but they're actually placing it in a different part of the map this time to see if reinforcements are coming behind QO so they can kill Miracle.
Fly's going to arrive. There's no Observer Ward to scout out this movement. The only ob's actually down for OG aggressively is about to time out. In fact, it just does do so back behind the tier 1 tower on the top lane. So it's really kind of blind. They've prepped a new one which is a little bit deeper inside the jungle. But they still don't know where OG supports are moving, and that's very dangerous with Crit's Earth Spirit.
Bottom lane looks to be in a little bit of trouble. OG making a move down there without a smoke at the moment, probably just a warding mission.
With the ward, they do see the Faceless Void. Before he's level 6, it was a small opportunity to maybe gank up MP. But with their lineup, painting off stuns, Disruption doesn't really work the way they would like it to.
Yeah, they don't have Flame Break on the Batrider, so it's not going to be terribly easy.
They're pinging out. They want DuBu instead. Be careful of the timing. Disruption and kick. Not the right synergy coming out from Crit and Fly. This will allow DuBu to charge away. Timbersaw. Miskill there, but also up on the top lane. It was the Darkseer and the Bounty Hunter teaming up together to kill off the Juggernaut.
It looked like he was out of man on the top lane. Maybe he popped his mango and still perished in the meantime.
Duo is now going to try and battle Miracle for the room. Actually, Phantom striking himself forward. Gets the bounty room from Miracle. Critical thing when it keeps the bottle charges low, but Miracle tries to man-fight it. There's bottle charges available for QO. He'll trigger one of them now. Back to his tier 1 tower.
I like the other times that they drafted PA in the group stage. It was against a lot more physical damage, like life stealers, for example. This game, the Blur isn't terribly useful, and I think Timbersaw is going to continue to prove to be very useful against her. He's doing very well in terms of CS.
He's bailing out. He doesn't want anything to do with his tier 1 tower. And rightly so, Crit still hovering around as Moon farms up the Radiant jungle. Miracle a little bit further over on the Radiant side.
He's maxed out Chain. Or he's maxing out Chain,
top
rather.
lane, Notel might be in trouble here. It's a double Iron Shell maneuver, but they've already used their charge. The Notel can spin back underneath his tier 1 tower in safety.
I also like how OG snagged up the Jug immediately in the second phase. He's like one of the few safe laners that can actually deal with this charging spear.
Oh, the sentry, they're going to trigger the dust. Secondary sentry being planted, but overcomes QR! Big damage on the fly. Has to self-disrupt, but that damage to Miracle with the Chronosphere just on the end. They need to bring down one, but who are they going to get? QO's low, so is Fly. Q will be the first to fall. Febby is the return damage. They need Miracle as well. Miracle, no more one charges left, but with a tip and chain! The damage is huge! You need a time look, and there it is, but there's still no follow-up. Not until OG bringing the reinforcements. It's Moon joining the fight. The Shark is there. No time walk for 3 seconds, and 3 seconds is too long. Miracle will get a double kill. 4 kills in total now for OG.
Man, he just seemed like the best laner to deal with this sort of thing. And he had an Arcane Rune going that whole time. And they don't kill him very soon. He has Timbersaw up in 3 seconds. 0.8 to be exact.
So quick, so damaging. Saying 4 kills for Miracle himself. It's the perfect time for Timbersaw to hit that mid-game streak.
No rest for the wicked. They see Spear Breaker charging, but there's already an Observer Ward behind these towers, so these Obs Wards are prepped for these Spear Breaker rotations, and OG, they are not getting caught off guard by MVP's game plan at all.
They definitely are not. The first Chrono was well going to work and not really having the desired result.
But you have 5 melee heroes.
Yeah, you can't really do much with it. Like, even with PA, like maybe with a Juggernaut you could jump in an Omni Slash. PA, you almost have to rely that you still have someone on the edge of the Chronosphere.
Maybe then later they can get a Battle Fury and they can throw some daggers and have some crit wonders inside the Chrono, but aside from that, it's not that much damage actually growing into the Chronosphere aside from Ion Shell.
Moon? Chrono's still on cooldown with only 1 point up in time lock. Faceless Void really isn't that menacing.
Smoke from OG, flying crit around the mid lane.
Maybe it's also a good time to ask that question about the Faceless Void. The draft panel was asking about it too. Do you try and build damage on this Faceless Void? You're not just a big controller, Febby said. Sentry Ward to drop. There's no escaping from this. Perfect stuns. And the Bounty Hunter will fall. It at least allows MP to back up before he gets killed.
Yeah, regarding the Faceless Void, the level 1 time dilation is pretty good versus Batrider. In terms of item builds, he doesn't really have that much to play around with. Going for the Vlads. In case they do win a team fight, they can get Roche and 5x to value.
SB charging in on Miracle. QO managed to dodge a lot of Miracle's abilities, so the charge in. They need the extra bashes. MP will arrive too. Time dilation, causing real legitimate Miracle. The extra damage from the wall. Reactive armor. It's a lot of life, but not enough. A level 3. Shuriken toss from Febby ends Timbersaw's killing spree.
Wow, what a perfect vacuum from Forev. He almost got out with a Timber Chain, but Timbersaw only had 1 chance because of that time dilation.
Well, finally MVP can stop the Timbersaw rampage, you could almost say. There's still other ticking time bombs. Again, Moon has gone for this. He prefers this to end the entire group stage. No early Blink Dagger. Groms has completed 10 minutes into the game. Notel still a while off completing his next big item. And for Ring of Aquila as well as his Phase Boots.
I wonder if he's considering getting a Vanguard this game. I think we see that sometimes on Juggernaut, maybe when there's not this much fighting, but this game it would be really good for him. But maybe in deciding between the Phase Yasha, he walks under a ward.
He does.
Look at all these sentries.
So is Crit. Actually, just with the 2 sentries there from the last fight. Crit's backing up. He knows he doesn't have detection on the side. He's also not level 6 yet. Even with the extra tome that got flown out, he's still shy.
DuBu's level 6 now, so they have more opportunities around the map.
MVP still waiting for other critical timing and items. Darkseer does not have that mech up and available.
It looks like Miracle is actually going for a hood first. It's not a build we see too often on Timbersaw. Most of the time it's Bloodstone, but perhaps getting in this game to deal with pretty much just the Ion Shell, I'd say.
Also, the team's preparing for a harder fight. There's a Vlad's build over on the Void. QO able to Phantom Strike away. Support's rotating down as DuBu and Forev. They're charging in now. No Talon's the primary target. He's still got Omni Slash available, but the charge will connect. DuBu now bailing out as Miracle jumps up higher, looking for the kill on DuBu. Gonna find Forev there too. Remember, there is no mech yet up for MVP. So they want to have a full-on team fight, but nicely to Moon. This may be an easier target, but SB, he couldn't get himself out of the firefight. Miracle still here. They get just over on Febby. Slow him down. Miracle tries to rip him up. Time dilation into a double chronosphere. Hold him there. QO can't really help out just yet, while the rest of OG back 3-man wall. Forev keeps them out. They need more damage, even just kill off Moon. At least they got a couple of OG illusions to help them out, as Miracle still looks to clear. No tell, starts his spin up. No mana for an Omni Slash, but it won't matter. They have enough AoE damage. Fly getting ripped apart by still the Darkseer illusions. Febby forced up north. There's a double kill now for Miracle. Again, the bleeding starts. And Timbersaw's enjoying it. They go back through the wall. DuBu charged on forward. Hits all three. No tail into the spin. Crit slow DuBu with another strike. He's able to pick up the Earth Spirit. Forev once more. Another Iron Shell. Another surge. QO, do you really want to break this close? Miracle's going to find himself a hate rune on the top river. DuBu with the bash into a follow-up charge for the Omni Slash. No tail puts the Spirit Breaker down. Febby's looking for more, but Miracle, he's just too quick and too armored. Back up to the tier 1 tower. We got what we were expecting from this game. Heavy battles from both sides.
Yeah, OG very calm and calculated. That was an excellently placed wall by Darkseer, which really turned the tide of the fight. OG, they really had no choice but to fight under it, and the illusions did a lot of damage afterwards. And one of the deficiencies of the lineup from MVP, they don't have any damage in the Chronosphere. There's not an Ion Shell on the Faceless Void at the moment. And they also had a lot of trouble dealing with the Healing Ward at the start of the fight. Who's actually going to get in there and kill the Healing Ward?
Yeah, unless it's Bounty Hunter at the very beginning.
Yeah, maybe Faceless Void can run around.
Every time, Febby's getting dusted up just like he is now on the bottom lane. Crit, there is a charge coming in from the Spirit Breaker. Febby needs to survive. In comes DuBu. Can he create the space? Nope, the Magnetize's already finished the job. Another back inning of a Miracle with a Timber Chain. He goes through DuBu and Forev. There is going to be enough damage to get another revenge kill here. Miracle just keeps going and going. Forev will drop as well. Miracle racking up 8 out of the 15 kills of OG.
I like the player mentality coming up from Crit this game. I think his mindset is like, dying is a necessary evil for me this game. I need to die sometimes just because you need someone to absorb the damage so that you can build reactive armor stacks on Timbersaw, so you can get the napalm stacks on Batrider or Batrider. You need time to build up your damage on OG.
Prepping up wards again. Fly coming in behind the lines. Febby not visible just yet. They come under the tower. Disruption will start. Febby, who do you want to go on? There's 4 heroes from OG and QO. He'll drop so quickly. OG coming with the numbers. They actually have 5 players here. A full 5-man maneuver from OG. Half MVP to win a team fight. But OG is just capable of kiting and getting picks before MVP are in position.
That's okay. MVP knew that they were going to lose a lot of heroes. That's why they drafted Bounty Hunter last. It's like that. He's going to win one of these fights.
Well, you just want to bring it back to the whole, you know, as long as we get track kills later on, we get a good chrono, maybe a couple of crits. You never know. A Darkseer, Vac Wall.
Why do you think they drafted 2 Bash heroes and a 50% evasion hero? Sometimes they'll roll in your favor.
The MVP RNG dream.
They're missing Ogre, though.
They are. No ding 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 on this one. And MVP, well, they're coming for a kill if they can find one. Forev has already prepped up the Iron Shells and they smoke into the Dire jungle. And Dire already scanning up. What a perfect scan as well. OG, they know exactly what MVP is up to. The Observer Ward goes into the lane. At least MVP now get to fight with vision.
I think even their Observer Ward's going to get deawarded because of this. Like, it's a very common move. You smoke behind and
there it is.
Fly knows exactly what's going on. Yeah, the T1 tower's at full HP, but despite that, predicts MVP's next move and limits their angle of attack.
So MP has 1,400 gold over on this Faceless Void. He asked the question a couple of minutes ago. He's finished up the Vlads. They've got their team fight auras with both Mech and Vlad. Do you now have to start racking up some damage?
guess the build would possibly be Diffusal, I would say, for damage. We'll see Yasha sometimes. I think, I don't know, it's a difficult game for the Faceless Void. Scepter's okay, but you're not really getting that many kills in a Chronosphere. Well, MVP, they scan under the Dire T1 tower and the scan hits, and I don't know if they're expecting the smoke right now, but MVP are up that hill.
OG are expecting it because they had 3 observables to see all the initiation. The charge keeping no tail back, so we actually have a split fight. Crit went in, but DuBu held everyone else out, but now Timbersaw, a back 3-man wall! The Chakram down in position, they still need more damage. Only the Earth Spirits died so far for MVP, and MP time walks away, back away from the wall. Not a lot of mana for OG to really work with here, and QO! He goes in through the back line, finds the Batrider, keeps the Stifling Dagger out. He's trying to pick the good fight, but Miracle still huge amounts of damage. Febby has to play elusive, and in comes QO. Another crit, Fly will drop. He went for the aggressive disruption on QO to try and fight some space. Now a Snowtail on the charge, back in again, and MVP! They're finding huge kills, especially with such a huge advantage going the way of OG. Every single one of the track kills means so much. Big goal, big swing.
That's one great team fight coming out from MVP. They get split up at the beginning of the fight. Crit tries to go in, but look at this vacuum into Chronosphere. They get him on the edge of the Chronosphere too, so the melee heroes can follow up after that, and that's exactly what they needed.
And they turn it straight into the tier 1 tower. Take a team fight, push a tower. Don't have a Chronosphere available, your mech's still on cooldown. Not a lot of mana on the Darkseer, but once he's able to finish up Greaves, this might be a little bit better. But with the heavy team fights, maybe it's even better to go for a Blink Dagger. Have even better initiation for Forev, even though he doesn't seem to need it.
Well, they have the Blink Dagger on Void. They can just walk up with the Darkseer with Surge. I think MVP going to Jeff, what's better than 5 heroes running at you? We're gonna make illusions of you and have 5 more heroes. Those illusions stay alive for so long. OG actually don't really have the AoE to clear them out, or it hasn't seemed like it. I think Timbersaw should actually focus on killing the illusions very early on in the fight.
Or going for the hero kills. At least he'll have the man to do so, but he wants to have hero kills as his Bloodstone is almost near completion for Miracle. Febby hovering around, he's going to run out, he's going to steal the haste stone. Means he's going to have the mover speed to get away as long as he's got the life, but he does not. Crit and Miracle teaming up perfectly.
The illusions don't really affect him that much necessarily, but you can see the effect on the supports, like Shadow Demon in particular. Saw a self-disruption on him earlier, and OG grouped around their mid T1. They protected their towers pretty well though. Let the top one fall, the least important one for Dire.
It's also because they can see when MVP are coming every single time. Like that fight in the Radiant jungle caught them. It wasn't even off guard like the Observer Wards. They had 3 of them prepared across the Radiant jungle. So the second MVP made even a move for Dire side, for Roshan, or to that bottom lane. OG knew about it. And then there's an Observer Ward on top of the Radiant Ancients. That just watched 3 MVP players farming up. OG can then freely move into the Radiant jungle and take that. They just see everything and can make the best decisions at hand with all the information.
And then you also need to see the Roshan coming in a couple of minutes. Phantom Assassin has a hammer, 2 hammers now, so going for the Dezo build that we see QO go for very often, back complying with the Vlad. All they need is one more team fight like that, and they take Roche, they'll take down the T1.
Miracle, very far out. He does not have a lot of friends around here. Really a lot of confidence as well. But that Desolator flying into QO, now Forev back, charge, time dilation, they really want him. Fly still too far away, the Darkfield wall will drop, Miracle's alive, DuBu a little bit deeper, Fly, not a healthy man, now the Omnislash onto MP and DuBu, but MP took the entire brunt of it. Until then, they move on to the Spirit Breaker. Febby on the retreat, they slow down Miracle with a Stifling Dagger, the kick flies forward, gonna miss QO. They're safe on the high ground, but then QO, the dust comes down from Moon, QO dragged back by the lasso, he needs someone to jump to, but while he's silent, he doesn't have it. Febby stays close enough, up on the high ground, Miracle forward, Chakram's on cooldown, he slices up the Phantom Assassin, Febby's still on the run, but Miracle, he was looking for Forev. Febby is away. OG just chaining kills after what was a very obvious bait of Miracle.
MVP knew that it was obvious though. They had the Spirit Breaker go on the Shadow Demon in the back line, and then you had the Faceless Void trying to run up to Chronosphere anyone that was coming in from behind. Jug dropped the healing ward, but what they didn't know is that Crit was already prepared. He silenced the Void as he was coming in for the Chrono, and then he immediately died. And this is a Void with a Blink Dagger. You did not have that much time to react.
It's the reason why Crit, the Earthshaker, continues to get picked for OG. Man is a god on that hero.
He certainly is.
OG. Now is MVP who are looking for an opening. They've only got Febby running on the front lines. Advantage for MVP as there was no observer wards in this area. By the movements of Febby, you might have expected OG to go in for Roshan.
Now they have the Dezo on the PA, so a lucky crit can easily flow up the Earth Spirit or Shadow Demon who don't have that much armor. Shadow Demon in particular who doesn't have Tranquils.
Is that what MVP should also be looking to do in every single fight? Like get QO into the back line of OG?
He has to be a little bit careful because if Fly makes illusions of the PA with a Soul Catcher and a ult, then he might actually be in a little bit of trouble. So wait until Shadow Demon is like in a bad position. He can easily get caught out by the AoE. You don't need QO to eliminate the Shadow Demon. You just really need Dark Seer and Faceless Void to get at least 2 heroes, I would say. It should be 3 with the vacuum though.
MVP uses scan, expecting maybe OG to flank around them. It's an invis rune for Miracle. They don't understand that Timbersaw is standing in the middle of their team. Now the Chakram, well off target, however. Miracle just changing himself away to safety as MVP once again. They were grouping up for a full 5-man fight. And they just don't see the opportunity for initiation until now. 4-man smoke. They're looking for an opening. The charge will come first. Who does he find? It's going all the way up again towards the Juggernaut. While Crit caught out of position. He's able to get the double silence. And then Boulder himself away. The fight splits up. Darkseer Wall is keeping a lot of them away and Crit just isolated from the rest of his team. Miracle will stand in front of the tower. But again, he's just playing that bait game. DuBu waiting for his next charge target. With no Earth Spirit down, there's no silence to dissuade the Faceless Void from going in.
MVP is trying to lure them back to their Observer Ward. They have Observer Ward in the river, and they don't necessarily want to fight deeper, closer to T1, where OG actually had an Observer Ward. They need the Faceless Void to catch them by surprise.
They're running so low on mana without the Darkseer Wall. Is this even still worth sticking around? That's the decision that MVP is faced with.
Maybe not when Earth Spirit's back up. He just respawned, but they need to wait for OG to come to them. And OG don't have the greatest Roshan lineup, so MVP, they're safe to leave the pit.
OG actually slip it and do Roshan. There's a big creep wave up on top that MVP's got to go and take care of.
It's just Jug. Timbersaw's like okay at tanking, but it would just take far too long. And if OG's heroes are missing, they've been fighting at 5 the entire game. As soon as 5 heroes go missing on the map, you know that they're either going to smoke ink them, which MVP are okay with, because they're the ones that are actually looking to fight, or they're doing rogue.
Nice little rune for QO for the next fight, holding on to the haste rune as he's going to farm up the top, brings him closer towards that BKB.
And there's an early gem pickup on Crit, so he got pretty rich off that last fight, but not choosing to go for the early Blink Dagger. And this could be a risky proposition. Febby's already been dying a decent amount, but maybe looking to go for the long game and get those items up in case they don't want to invest thousands and thousands of gold on sentries.
Kind of one of those fun games as well for Crit. Normally this guy's got a very early veil, but he has to spend the money on the gem. With a 0.511 KDA, you can understand why. So there's so much money over on Miracle, you can say goodbye to the Observe Ward in the bottom river. All the money in the world rolling in, still holding on the 15 Bloodstone charges for the Timbersaw. But MVP, very nicely split, continues to farm until the next item progression.
They're not really getting too much money on the Spear Breaker. Ideally, you'd Midas, I would say, on him at this point. Like, you'll have track gold, and then you'll have Midas, and you're gonna die in most of these fights. He is the fluffiest tank that they have on the side of MVP.
Every time I watch Miracle move, there's 3 OG players just a stone's throw behind him. And now OG actually leaving Miracle on the back lines. It's Moon to the front lines. They actually put the Gem of Truth right now over on him, and the jump on Crit. They're looking for a 3-man kick. Crit by a grand space for Miracle to do some lifting with the last 2. They hold MP there. He can't time walk away. He can't chrono. It makes a 1-for-1 trade-off. Febby also no way out. 2-0 will TP. Barely in the nick of time. 2-for-1 trade-off. MVP should be counting their lucky stars. They get away with only 2 deaths. But now OG to make a break for Roshan. The healing ward's available, so this should be easy for him.
Batrider recovers gem, and yeah, Crit might be 0 and 6, but it doesn't really matter. He got a 3-man stun right there, and the more important part is they're putting Faceless Void in a really difficult position. Like, he doesn't want a Chrono, a solo Earth Spirit. He doesn't want a Chrono Spirit, a Timbersaw who's out in front, but they don't have vision in the back.
They're coming to contest, but Miracle's gonna break the smoke. He was waiting for this smoke maneuver. And he's the man who's probably the tankiest of all of OG. They come in and the wall! He got 3 on the clip! DuBu will charge up with the Dark Sea and back. DuBu will fly and he'll get him. Now QO jumps up Trump battle up against Notel. The Chakra from Miracle trying to help out his core. It won't be enough. QO finds another. Now the Phantom strike down over towards Crit as well. QO, he's so low on life. He'll go down. OG, they were contested. Chris on a healthy man. FP with the help of the bounty. They find that kill. Miracle, now Time Lock in the river. Chrono is still available. Time Walk up, they could do it. Roshan only at 1/3 of his life. They have the Dark Seal wall. The problem is, without the PA, they don't have the damage to kill off Roshan.
And Roshan is a death trap for OG. I guess that, and for MVP too. You don't really want to fight into the Batrider and the Timbersaw there, but I like the way that Timbersaw was out in the front, just making sure the MVP could not catch him by surprise. And he popped the smoke, but they still got this beautiful initiation.
That was absolutely wonderful. You can see them trying to help out. The Flamebreaker at least puts DuBu down, and that Spirit Breaker, he was picked for one solid reason, and that was to cause chaos with MVP. And with combination of the Dark Seer, it worked perfectly.
And I remember just last TI, that same exact position where CDEC used that on their way to victory.
Oh, I like to see it time and time again if we have more of that. The BKB is done, so the strength of MVP's team fight is going to get better.
Wow, he's got a lot of farm since his Desolator. I'm surprised, especially considering that he died that last fight. Pretty quick BKB to follow up.
While Miracle's progression's not really going that far apart from Bloodstone charges.
And more importantly, no tail.
I say that when he's still so far in front of the net worth. But Miracle now caught out in the tree line. The charge forward with a time lock. They need a hold, and they bring him down. Huge amount of money. They move on the crit. QO's already got 890 gold and no tail locked in. Crit wants to run away, but he gets fly as well. Triple kill for QO. Omni slash it up. No tail will appear over next to MP, but another time lock, another crit, and it's a hit for the Faceless Void. MVP, a huge fight for them, and this is a big one. They keep the PA alive, so now they can go for Roshan. Miracle, he will try and be a problem child, and the blank up. QO gets clipped by Moon. He needs a way to jump down. He's waiting for it. Stifling dagger, still Phantom Strike, actually on cooldown. He missed the timing for it. Miracle being pumped down a little bit further by the bat. Roshan, it does go the way of MVP with the Aegis Immortal into the hands of PA.
Radiant's top
Miracle thinking that he's Superman. He didn't actually pop his Lotus Orb early enough that fight, and he just got bashed out.
This jump, MVP as well, like not just settling for one. You think up against a team like OG, you might be so scared that you're gonna say like, let's just take one and be happy with that. MVP, the lead Chrono, gets the second one. They can understand. It's just get as much as you can out of every single fight.
Do you see that crit? It took him down to like, it took him down to 70% of his HP.
That's the beauty of PA. MVP, like they're the only team at TI so far that's had real success with it. And
Now
there's the swing.
All it takes is a couple fights, Toby.
That it does. We still haven't even thought about like the effect the Bounty Hunter has had on this game. He continues to get a lot of tracks off during the fight, staying alive through a lot of it as well. And all this money just rolls in for MVP. Like we talked about the BKB only just being done by QO getting a lot of money. Now he's got a Basher coming out in the Courier too. So you're getting extra chances. We already had like the Bash Lords of SB and Faceless Void. Now you're going to add PA to the mix.
Dire structures are fortified.
And on top of that, the Bounty Hunter, he like forces OG to make some crucial economic decisions too. Shadow Demon continuously has to invest in the Sentry Wards, and the Batrider is not playing as aggressively as normal because he doesn't want to lose the gem. So they can't play like they want to.
MVP are coming. Miracle is the only man from OG to protect this tier 3 tower. Quick time violation, the basket, the time lock. Miracle, he has to Timber chain himself away from DuBu. Charge forward, he's got the low door protect for Q, and has to get it back. 3-man wall, fly as well, bashed up, critted up. DuBu will get the double kill, and now no buyback for both the SD as well as the Timber. This could be a top raxing at the moment. The only chance for a counter is Notel in the bottom lane to push that tier 3, but he needs to come home. The Timber is up in 11 thanks to that Bloodstone. But MVP, they take down the melee rack. They'll take the range as well. MVP, they have just won 2 great fights, maybe 3.5 in a row, and then claim the first rack here on the main stage.
OG, it seemed like they made the necessary preparations to deal with MVP's aggression, but I think a couple of decisions in the mid game like really proved to be their downfall. I think one in particular is the Battle Fury on Juggernaut. Like this is not a farming game. It might be good to get your farm up, but how often have they been split up? How often is MVP like not running at you as 5? There's like almost 50 kills at this point of the game, and a fighting build like PA could have also gone for Battle Fury, but she going for the fighting build. Vlad's on the Faceless Void 2, BKBs coming out all around, and now Juggernaut's be very, very fragile.
And fragile Juggernaut is not what you want to have. They need to find OG the better initiations. That's what gave them the confidence in the first 10 minutes. They always had vision of MVP moving across the map. They were able to set themselves up properly. They read MVP's movements, the smokes, the scans, everything was on point. Right now, Dire Observer, they got one on the bottom lane, and that's all. They hardly see the movement of OG. Not that this movement is that hard to read. There's still 2 bottom towers available for MVP to take, and if OG want to fight this, they have to get it right.
Bottom tower is under attack.
They need vision on that high ground. Fly will take care of that. Tier 1 tower is already going to drop, and OG is preparing for defense.
It looks like they're going in soon. They had the fuse on Juggernaut. Pretty good versus the time dilation. Although I think it would have better if it came out earlier, because then Timbersaw wouldn't have to build a Lotus Orb. He could actually go for more armor, so he can deal with and tank the PA.
At least he's got the casual plate mail to go with his Lotus Orb for this time. QO picked up. Moon found the initiation. Remember, QO still has an Aegis Immortal for Forev, trying to make a little bit of space. He's waiting for it. Let the Aegis Immortal trigger before he goes to the back wall combo. Miracle takes half the life of QO. A quick, oh no, Tail. Careful of the Stifling Dagger. We said he was fragile. One Stifling Dagger almost removes half of his life. Miracle, again the front line, that's getting it fast. The Stifling Dagger, the Chrono, they caught no tail on the back line. They're looking for the kill. Crit, the charge from DuBu, bypassing the Chrono. They're looking for the back support. The wall will split this fight up. QO is just so big. He's ripping apart the back line of OG. Moon will join him. Motar's trying to create some help, but the Omni Slash did practically nothing. They group up together. Now the boulder forward. MVP. Now they've gone a little bit too deep themselves. QO will drop almost 1,000 gold for his death, going the way of Crit. And Miracle, he's looking for the kill on DuBu as well. Swirling death, Timber Chain. It looks almost too easy. Crit with the double kill from the kick. While all that's going on, remember, MVP are still a racks up. But that's a good fight for OG.
A good way to start. And I like the zoning Chronosphere coming out from MP. They decided to chrono the 2 farm heroes and then just go for everyone in the back. I guess that's a way you can make a 5 melee lineup work with Chronosphere. Don't fight in it.
Problem is when the Chronosphere wears off and then the cores come back, you've got the kills on the supports, but you've got nothing else to throw.
They also need to make sure that they deal with the lasso. If they didn't have the Aegis that fight, they would have just had a turn tail and a run immediately after the lasso. The Lotus Orb is a start. I think like Lotus Orb and actually slow sieging might be okay, but then again, that's not really what MVP's style is.
No, it's not. It's all about run, and then run some more.
If they could trap 2 bounty hunters, they definitely would.
If only track could stack.
Radiant's top tower is under
As OG
attack.
now, they're going to 4-man smoke up, running straight down the mid lane. And Dire, okay, they're scanning over towards Ancients. They're expecting MVP to farm this. Febby is just on the edge of it, but he's not triggering the scan.
Oh, MP.
Oh, he's just jumped himself in! Can they find the kill in time? He's still got Time Walk available, but MP, no. Crit too good on the silence. The charge is coming forward, but MVP, do they really want to fight this? Crit, he boulders himself into 4 heroes. SC Defensive Disruption. Naked to MVP, can't find the kill and move on to the next one. It's Crit in the back lines, the back into the wall again. Miracle is caught in the middle of the line, but it won't be a bad catch. Not when DuBu splits the QR! He fights the Crit, and then they move to Miracle. They need the bash, they need the control. Lotus Orb helping Miracle for the moment. They stifling. He jumps back in again. There's your first bash. Where's your control? DuBu's going to bring it. Another charge forward. 3 down for OG. It might be 4, but Miracle is just still so damn tanky. And DuBu has to be careful around that. They can find the other core. It's Moon. Flying himself over the hill. QO bashing. Striking from the high ground. Killing him off. Miracle still trying to salvage this fight somehow, but it's basically 9k on 5 at the moment. He'll Lotus Orb up, Timber Chain away, the chakram damage, DuBu with low, chains up in 1 second time. Now the bashes, Miracle can't get away. QO again, finding the crit, finding the kill. then OG lose everything.
You can see why they're one of the few teams that continuously pick Spear Breaker. He kind of acted like a Faceless Void there, just controlling everyone in the fight. Great charges and healing himself up. He was like critical HP, earned himself, and just went right back in.
Dream fights again coming the way of MVP. 14,000 is the net worth advantage. Even if the experience is going to be closer, the money banks are just being fueled of MVP. Track kill after track kill. And they can look for a second rack. They won't be able to get it this time around unless they force a big fight. Chrono is still available. You don't have the Dark Steel wall, but it's only 8 seconds on cooldown. They're starting to damage up. Batrider will arrive.
They're really struggling against the BKB as of MVP Phoenix right now. This is where like the Juggernaut needs to come in with all the physical damage. He's trying to build an MKB right now, and he's just seems like he's a little bit behind in terms of items. And I don't think he can buy MKB at this point. He needs a buyback.
If that's the situation you face, I need a buyback to try and survive.
Yeah, in the net worth chart, he's not looking so hot too. He's number 4, like well behind the PA at this point, who is doing the most of the work of the physical damage on MVP's team. Well, OG around the secret shop. They have ward. Top lane is getting pushed in. MVP have pinged it out. They know what's going on.
Yeah, and they ping perfectly that MVP is going to try and come in from the left side. It could have been an attempt for Roshan, but Roshan's not available yet, and they put Febby on the front line. Now OG have picked up a new gem, but Febby already broke the smoke before he came in range of the gem, who is being carried on the Batrider. So DuBu, they just sent the tank forward, loaded him up, and a double stun for Forev. The Chrono Speed, the Flame Wreck actually pushing DuBu back out again, but the Omni Slash to find the kill. But where is your follow-up? Miracle will control the moon in the tree line. QO and MP will follow him down. The good way charge on Forev means the Juggernaut can chase him into the tree line as well, but the Dark Steel wall makes it very, very difficult to fight. As they play Ringa Ringa Rose, the MP comes back in and no tail. Isolated around MVP. Miracle, the sole survivor, TP's home. They lost their tier 4 tower thanks to Creep Wave in, but let's see that initiation again.
I like how they sacrificed DuBu. All he had is like treads at this point. It's like, whatever, we'll throw a Lotus Orb on you. You go in there, you get some vision for us. And they always have their like unimportant heroes up front. And then they eliminate the 2 supports pretty quickly. They got a wall onto No Tail near the end, and QO is just wrecking in these fights.
It didn't even seem like the perfect initiation. The Chrono Sphere at the same time as Darkseid was trying to go for his back wall.
It's their whole strategy. It's good enough.
Yeah.
We'll win a few fights with Bounty Hunter. Good enough.
That just shows how far MVP are ahead in
Their
this game.
teamwork is really phenomenal though, with a lineup that's extremely difficult to execute.
The kick, nice on QO. They need to keep him controlled. The BKB helped him break free. Well, MP, there goes SD down again. They move over to Crit. Febby's back is over on the side. Maybe Crit. Where's your damage? Where is your escape? MP still under the cover of the BKB. Will move forward over towards Moon, keeping the Batrider out this game. And in fact, a 3-man blow. The Sun, no time being pushed through it too. Heal drop, Miracle. He just needs to do some damage, but he can't finish QO. QO will jump up. He'll kill Fly all over again. And GT, the game is over. MVP in a 70-kill, 39-minute game. Take game number 1 in this best-of-3 quarterfinal.
MVP played like refined cavemen that game. I like their self-described philosophy on how to approach the game.
And these cavemen learned how to use fire. A terrific performance from MVP, sticking to their roots, playing with an aggressive Phantom Assassin. Didn't look like a right combo, right? That you get yourself a face